Okay, good morning, students. Today we will
Good morning,
discuss.
sir.
Good morning, good morning. Today we will discuss about that is our subject, Introduction to Web Design, IT 406. We were discussing about the frames that the you have seen the web page and web page that is divided into parts. That is division is done by the frames. So here we use the three main things. First is the frame set elements in place of the body element in the HTML document. Second, frame element to create frame for the content of web page. And third, that is the SRC attribute to identify the resources. These three were main. That was the frame set, frame element, and the SRC attribute. Frame set forward, that is in place of the body element, and the frame element to create the frames for the content of the web page. And third, that is the SRC attribute to identify the resource. Okay, and create a different file with the content for each frame. This we have discussed in the earlier session. Now this was the first, that was a doc type HTML body. Welcome to SIR. This is group Bhopal, and this is the frame one. This is a normal coding. Doc type means we are using the HTML5. This is the HTML tag body. We close them. Inside the H1 tag, we write the welcome to SIR. That says group Bhopal, and inside that is the H2. That is the frame one. I write here in the H2, and in the paragraph, that is the P, I write the welcome to the content section of the framework. So this was the first implementation, and I saved this with the help of the framework. Right now, along with this, we will go through the this one. We'll see here, that is the frames. This our first. This was the first. That was the open. That is the Google Chrome. This was the first example. Welcome to SIR. This is Group Bhopal. Now, in the next, this was the result of this, because we have discussed earlier. So this was about the creating the vertical columns and how we can create the vertical columns. For the columns, we will use the attribute, that is the COLS. There is a COLS attribute to define the number and size of the columns. This is the coding, that is the creating the vertical columns. This is the practical implementation. I write here, that is the frame set COLS. As I told earlier, that is the star star star. It means that it has the, this is the, we write here the value of the star to each of the frame. That is the, this will cause them to be automatically sized to be fill the available space. Means it will divide in the same size. This was star star star. We take here the 4 star, means how many we will divide our web page in how many columns. It's the 4 column. This is the frame SRC. Frame SRC means that the SRC what we will put inside the frame. That was the frame SRC. Frame one underscore one dot HTML. Frame underscore one dot HTML. I put here, that is the 3. This was the example. That is the output of that. We have divided the web page into 4. Now again, that how we'll create the horizontal rows. In the horizontal rows, that is the row of the from, we will write here, that is the rows, ROWS, instead of the cols, COLS. Earlier we put there that they when we divide our web page in the columns, we write there the COLS, and when we will divide in the rows, we will put here, that is the rows, that is the rows. Here again the 4 star. So I will divide here in the 4 rows. This was the rest is the same, only you will replace the rows with the COLS, and here you will replace the COLS with the ROWS, that is the rows. Same, rest is the same. That is the frame SRC, frame one, frame underscore one dot HTML, frame underscore one dot HTML. I put here the in the inside the 4 frames. I write here only the one HTML file here. So this is the result here. That is the output. Here I divide them into the 4 rows, and earlier we divide them in the 4 columns. Okay. For the
Column.
columns we put the COLS, and for the rows we put the, that is the ROWS. This is the practical implementation here, and I will go here. This is the practical implementation. This is the frame 2. This is the coding of that frame 2. That is, this is the coding. Same as I shown you. That is the COLS. So by this, we will divide our web page in the 4 columns, right? And here, this one, that is the rows, because I discussed in the earlier section. This was the rows ROWS. Only I put here ROWS instead of the COLS. Again, I will divide my page in the 4 rows. At that, what is the frame SRC? That is same. That is the image IMG SRC tag, which you have implemented earlier to insert the image. So here I take the frame SRC is equal to frame underscore one dot HTML. That is the file name. Now, this file name is inside the folder in which you are saving this content, this coding, right? So all should be in the same. Then you will write here that is the frame underscore one dot HTML. Okay. And this here, this was the result of this. Then Google Chrome, I divide the my web page in the how many rows? That is the 4 rows. Okay. Now,
four.
as today, now we will discuss about that the this we had done in the earlier session, and this was the result. Now the mixing columns and rows. This is the main. Now the column as rows are the frame can both appear on the same web page by nested one frame set inside the another. To do this, we first create a frame set, then nest a child frame set, and within the parent element. And we will see the example. Now we will move somewhat back. Here we see that. Now see, this is the frame set. This is the opening and closing. This element, that is the opening element and the closing element. If we will start the frame set, then we will end the frame set. But the frame, that is not the ending. This is only the starting, need not to be end. So this is the main thing that I will show you now in the next. That is the example. That is the frame set need to be closed, just like the HTML. So here, this is the mix. Now I will take the example of the mix. I take here that is the doc type HTML. This is till now you are clear. Now see, this is the frame set COLS. Frame set means I set my web page into how many columns? 3 columns. Okay. Star means it will give the same space to all. We will discuss later that 25%, 75%. We will discuss later. So here till now that is the frame set COLS. So my web page is divided into how many
Three
columns? Into 3 columns. Now see, this is the frame set row, because I am doing here the mixing columns and rows. So in this practical implementation, earlier I take the one example for the column, one example for the row. Now I am going to mix them. Now see clearly, frame set COLS, that is the 3. I divide into 3. My web page is 3 columns, and this is the frame set rows. So here I divide into 2 rows. Now see, frame set COLS, frame set rows, and the frame SRC, frame underscore one HTML. I put that is the frame underscore one HTML, and frame set SRC, that is the frame underscore one dot HTML. And this here, this is the I close the frame set. This one frame set I see here, one frame set. Okay, this was the first frame set. This was the second frame set. I put here that the frame. I put here frame. I close the frame set. So inner frame set, that is the closed. Now the this is the outer frame set. So I close the outer frame set here. Now I am going to show you the result first. This is the result. Okay, this is the you see. Well, now you see the result. Sir, this is the result. See, concentrate on the result. First, I divide how many columns? I divide
Three.
into 3 columns. Okay. Now this, see the result here. 1, 2, 3. These are the 3 columns. Now I divide the frame set rows. Columns, that is name complete. Not the frame set rows, that is the I divide into 2 rows. How many rows? 2 rows. But which column? That is the first column, because that is below the this one, the column. So it will take the first column, will divide into 2 rows. So here the first row is divided into 2 columns, and inside those rows, the first column divided 2 rows, and inside those rows, in the first row, it will be frame underscore one dot html file, and that is the, in the second rows, that is the frame, that is the underscore one html. I take the same, that is for your convenient. You see here the frame set cols is equal to, that is the star 3 star. It means I
सर
divide.
साउंड नहीं आ रहा है।
हेलो, अब आ रही है आवाज?
Yes, sir. आ रही है।
नहीं सर।
Okay, so here that is the I divide the frame set columns. I divide into 3 columns. That is the 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now frame set rows. That is below this. That the first column is divided into 2 rows. Okay. The first row that will contain the frame underscore one dot html, and the second row that will contain the frame underscore one dot html. I take the same file for your convenience, and here I close the frame set. So this is the inner frame set, the frame set of the row that has been closed. Then again, I take this frame set src frame underscore one dot html. This src, this file will be inside the second column, and there this file, the next file will be inside the third column. So here I take, this is the frame set. This is one. I take the 3 columns, and I divide the first column into 2 rows, and I put them. Now I am going to practical example for this. This is the, this one, this is the frame 4. In the frame 4, that is the, I am showing the coding. Now see, this is the coding. Inside the coding, the doc type frame set cols star star star. Okay, it means the frame set, that is the page, will be divided into 3 columns, all of the same size. And then just below the colon cols, I write down here that the frame set rows. So it will divide the first column into 2 rows. Okay, first column into 2 rows, and in the first row it will give the link, that is the content of the frame underscore one dot html, and inside the second it will give the content of the frame underscore one dot html. Now I close the frame set of the rows, that is I close the frame set. Then I again write down here, that is the frame src frame underscore one dot html. Now this file, this, the content of this file, they will come in the second column, and the content of this file, they will come in the third column. So as the result, so now we'll see the result here. This one I open with the Google Chrome. I take here. Now this is the example. Okay, this is the first row, first column, second column, third column, and first column I divide into 2 rows. We will take more example, then it will be clear to you. Now this was about the what, mixed columns and rows. Now see, now next we will go through the nested frame set. The nested frame set takes the place of the first frame within the parent element, and the nested elements can be placed in any position. Now we will take the example. That is the same as nested frame set. This was the just like mix, just the look like the nested. And now we'll take the nested frame set. Inside the nested frame set, we will take this. Now see it very consistently. That is the doc type, it is clear. HTML, it is clear. Now this here frame set cols means, that is the, I divide my web page into how many columns? 3 columns. That is the star star star. I divide my web page in the 3 columns. And now see here, in the frame set src frame underscore one, I put the frame underscore one dot html content in the first column. Okay, it will take the first column. Now frame set rows, frame set rows, that is the star star. Now the second one, that is the divided into 2 rows, And inside the first row, I put down here that is the frame src frame underscore one dot html, and the frame src frame underscore one dot html. The content of the first HTML file will be displayed here in the first row, and the content of this HTML file, they will display it here in the second row. And I close the frame set. Which frame set I close? I close the row frame set. Okay. Now I put the frame set src frame underscore one dot html. This will go in the third column, and then I close the frame set. Okay. Now this is the result. Okay. In the result, see, this is the first column, second column, third column, and I divide the second column into two rows. Okay. As the result, I take the columns. How many columns? Three columns. And inside this, I write down here that the frame src tag that is used to insert the content inside that column. So I take here one, that is the frame underscore one, and I'm again repeating that I have taken the same file for your convenience. So in the first, that is the first, second, third column, inside the first column, the content of this file, they will be displayed, and the frame set rows. Then again, this is for the in the second column. This is the with I again write the frame set rows. So second column is divided into two rows. The first row, that is the frame src frame underscore one dot html, and inside the second row, that is the frame underscore one dot html content, they will be displayed there. And I close the frame set here, right? I close the frame set here, and then that is the, and the next I take the frame src frame name that comes in the third column as the result. This is the result. So now I'm also showing the result, that is the this one. Now this is the open with I will open with the notepad. Now see, this is the doc type, that is HTML frame set column. I divide my web page in the three columns, and inside the first column I show the content of the frame underscore one dot html with the tag that is the frame src. Now I will divide the column, second column, into two rows. So I write down here that the frame set rows is equal to that is the star comma star. So it will divide the second column into two rows, and below this I write here that the frame src, that is the content of this frame underscore one dot html, they will be shown in the first row, and the content of the frame underscore one dot html, they will be shown in the second column. So now I divide the second column in the two rows. So I close the frame set here. Now I again write down the frame src is equal to frame underscore one dot html. So content of this file, they will be displayed in the third column as the result. Now this the result, that is the open with the Google Chrome. You see here the result, that is the welcome to SIRT, the Sales Group Bhopal, and again the welcome to SIRT, the Sales Group Bhopal, welcome to SIRT, the Sales Group Bhopal, welcome to SIRT, the Sales Group Bhopal. The content are the same because I have taken the same file for the R. So here, this is the frame one, this is the welcome to the content of section of the frame one. You can display anything here. Now, this was the one example, that is where the nested frame set, that is the where I divided the second column into two rows. And earlier I divided the first column into two rows. Now here I divide the second column into two rows. Now we are taking one more example, that is the nested frame set, the practical implementation 2. Here I take the doc type. Doc type means that is the HTML5 version we are using, that is the HTML, that is the main. So here I take the frame set code COLS, so star star. So I divide my web page into two columns, right? And here I write down here, that is the frame src frame. Now see it seriously, okay? Now I am again repeating. I take the frame set, that is the frame set, that is the COLS. I divide into two columns, okay? Now the frame src. Inside the first column, I put the content of the frame underscore one. Now frame set rows. So the second column I divide the into two rows. Second column I divide into two rows. Frame set rows is equal to star comma star. Okay, means in the two rows. So second column is divided into two rows. Okay. Now see, frame src frame underscore one dot html. Inside the first row I put the content of this HTML file. Now I don't close the frame set. I don't close the frame set. Frame set is on. So I again write here, that is the frame set COLS is equal to star comma star. So See here inside the first row, I put the content here. Now I again set the frame set COLS star star. So second row that is divided into two columns, and inside the first column I put the content of the frame underscore one dot HTML by the using the element that is the frame src, and by using the element that is the frame src, that I put the content of the frame underscore one dot html in the second column. Now see, I close here the frame set, this frame set. So this frame set, column frame set, that is closed. I again close the frame set. So here the frame set of the row, that is the that is closed, and the frame set column, that is closed here. Right, now I'm showing the example. This is the result. This is the result. Okay, I take, I divide my web page into two columns. Here with the this cell, the frame set columns, that is the star comma star, I divide into two columns. Okay, now here inside of the first, I put the content of this HTML5 frame underscore one dot HTML. Okay, now here the content of this file, they are here inside the first column. Now I divide the second column into two rows with the help of the frame set rows. So here that is a star comma star. So here the second column is divided into two rows. Okay, as the result, the second column is divided into two rows, first row and second row. Okay, now here inside that's the first column, that is the I divided two rows here, and inside the first row here I display the content of the frame underscore one dot html. So here I display the content of the frame of the first this HTML5, that is the welcome to a site, the sales group. And again I divide the second row into two columns. Okay, so here I put here that is the frame set COLS star comma star. So the second row that is divided into two columns, and inside the first column I put the content, I display the content of the frame underscore one dot HTML, and then in the second column I display the content of the frame underscore one dot HTML with the help of the frame src. Now I close the this frame set of the columns, close the frame set. Now again, I also close the frame set. I close the frame set, that is the rows, and here I also close the frame set, that is the main frame set. So this is the result. Now we are going to the practical implementation of this here. And the practical implementation, this is the, that is the, this one, uh, this one here. This is the example. This is the same here. Okay. Any confusion to anybody? This one, I open it with the Google Chrome. Now you see, this is the result. There is the welcome to SIR, the sales group, and here I divided two columns. The second column divided into two rows, and the second row is divided into two columns. So this was the example of this. That is the this one, nested frame set. Now we will take the one more example. In this example, this is the now first I will show the result. Now see, this is the example. Inside this example, I am dividing this into four, two column, and each column is divided into two rows. Okay, there are two columns and each column is divided into two rows. So what is the coding? So here you can see that the frame set row star comma star COLS star comma star. This is another way of writing the coding. So here, say the SRC frame set, that is the inside the first row, frame src frame underscore one dot html frame src, that is the frame underscore, the content of will be displayed here, and this is the simple coding. So here that is the star comma star, that is the colon, that is a comma, star comma star. So here I divide my web page into one, two, three, four, two rows, and the two rows and the two columns. You can also design this web page according to this coding also. So here we take the this example. So now I'm going for the practical implementation. The practical implementation here, this one, this is the coding of this. I will give you this PPT. You can do the practice. So here there is the HTML, the rows, star comma star, two rows, two columns, and this is the frame src elements that is used to display the content of this HTML file. This HTML file, I'm again repeating, I take the same HTML file for your convenience and I close the frame set. Now I'm going to run it. That is the open with the help of the Google Chrome. So this is the example. That is the welcome to SI at the sales group file and welcome to SI at the sales group file. So here this is the same. Okay. Now one more. Till now we were using the star, stars, this and star, star. So now we are going to the percentage. How many percent I need? So I take this inside this example. Okay, you can take in another example also. So I take here that is the frame set rows 25%, 75%, columns 25%, 75%. So it will divide the your screen with the help of this percentage. Rest is the same. So this is the result here that the 25%, 25%, 75%, 75%. And now here I am going to show you the this. This is the coding, right? This is the coding here. That is the notepad. This is the coding as same as I show you that 25%, 75%, 25%, 75%. And I'm going to run this coding that is open with the Google Chrome. So this is the result of this how many percentage area of your screen you need to be to want to give the first row, first column, or anything. Okay. This was about the your frames. Okay, this one. Now this was the yeah, this was the result. Okay, okay, it is clear to all.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to give you the this the PPT of this and video recording of this. Okay, now this was about the frames. Okay. Okay, any question?